So the good news is that they finally know what's wrong with my husband, but the bad news is that it's really bad news, and our lives are about to change big time. So I'm doing this video alone because John really needed some rest. And I don't know what the next video is gonna look like or when he'll be back in. But because we've talked about documenting this process, but the documenting is gonna fall on me, and I'm gonna have to document while taking care of him. And I don't know what that's gonna look like. So I don't wanna commit to anything that we can't really do. Yeah, things are about to change big time. I don't know, I guess it's nice to know the answer, but this was not the answer that we wanted. And so much time, I mean, I'm gonna tell you guys about this. It's just, so much time was wasted on the wrong thing. But on a side note real quick, this is our medical journal. This is all the tests and stuff. But we've been getting a lot of emails from you guys about the Bible bookmarkers. And I promise, guys, that we've mailed a bunch out. They're really popular, and we have a bunch more that are getting mailed out. I got help in this, so that's expediting this a lot. So if you have a bookmarker, thank you. And guys, if you don't have one, please consider getting one, because this is going to be our steady stream of income for the next little while as we navigate this. So yeah, this is my medical journal, and the first half of 2025 has looked like us going to doctor's appointments. And if the insurance company had just done a full body scan back in January, we would have saved so much time, so much money. And here's the real thing, is that this whole time my husband has had a ticking time bomb inside of him, and we've lost all this time, all this money. So in the last 6 months, our family has had to walk through almost 80 doctor's appointments. We've had 113 claims. We've added 6,000 miles to our truck, and the total medical bill has been about $150,000. I mean, I don't have to tell you how broken our medical system is. I don't call it a healthcare system, it's a sick care system. And you know, between how long insurance takes to approve anything, because they only want to approve one scan on one body part instead of scanning everything and finding out what's wrong at once. And then you finally get the referral for the specialist, but they're booked out a lot. So you have to call the gals to schedule, but you got to be nice, but you got to be firm, but you don't want to be too firm because then you make them mad. So I'm walking this tight line, and this is all the billing, this is our 2025 medical file. So that just tells you everything that you need to know. And you guys know my husband. You guys have seen him, and he is a tough son of a gun. I mean, this guy's been in construction his whole life, and he knows pain. I mean, he's broken bones, and you know, he's been through a lot of pain, but he's not one to complain. So for him to be in this much pain that he can't even walk, I mean, it's getting worse and worse. Before, it was a struggle just to walk to the sink, and now his walking distance is getting slower and slower, or getting shorter and shorter, I mean. But for him to be complaining this much, he says he's never been in this much pain in his whole entire life, and that says a lot coming from him. I mean, me, I'm a wimp. I would complain about anything, but this is a tough guy that does not complain. And I got to tell you, that last doctor's appointment, when I offered him the wheelchair, that Irish toughness, it was almost like, in a way, he had thrown the towel in by accepting to sit in that chair. But he had to sit in the chair because the amount of walking we had to do, he would have had to take 15 breaks. And so I'm seeing him walk through something that is not easy for anyone. But so we have gone through every kind of specialist and doctor that you could imagine. In fact, they've put him under 4 times, 3 of which was for procedures on his spine when it turns out that the problem from him not walking is not in the spine. They've been looking in the wrong place the whole time. And so our whole first half of this year has been doctor's appointments, multiple days of the week, multiple doctor's appointments, and then they're an hour there, an hour back, an hour and a half there, an hour and a half back. We're getting to the point where I'm packing coolers in the truck and doing sack lunches, so that the whole family, you know, we're turning this into a road trip warrior situation, except there's no fun road trip destination. It's just going to the orthopedic surgeon, which is not nearly as fun as the Grand Canyon. So, but my RV skills are coming in handy. And so we've been doing this, and what's crazy, and this is how God works, it's really miraculous, is that had it not been for the most unassuming injury on him, I mean, the last place you would think to look, we never would have found what the problem was. So we've been looking at the spine, the neurologist, the podiatrist, the skin doctor, the this doctor, all the doctors, the primary care, wound care, all the doctors. And he has this lesion or this wound on the bottom of his foot on his heel. And this wound will not heal. And he's had it since February. And it was because we went to this hack podiatrist that just cut, and this thing won't heal. It's getting worse and worse. It started like the size of a pea, and now it's growing into more of a cherry tomato or a cherry, and it's getting worse and worse. So this man, not only can he not walk distances, but now every step he takes is extremely painful. But I tell you what, this lesion on the bottom of his foot has been an absolute blessing, because had he not had it, we wouldn't have done the necessary test to find out what the ticking time bomb was inside of him, and to really find out how serious this is in the first place. So, of course, it takes months to get there, right? But they finally order this thing called a CTA. It's this really in-depth scan, and it's scanning all his arteries, because they're thinking, hey, maybe this little thing's not healing because there's not good blood flow. Well, we find out it's not that there's not good blood flow. It's that he's got an 100% occlusion on the right side of his iliac in his leg. And I guess there's 3 iliacs, and they're all 100% occluded on his right side. And of course, the wound is on his right heel. So that's why it's not healing. It's because it's getting no blood flow, no circulation. So thank God for this hack podiatrist that, you know, stabbed him and injured him, because that's how we know now what it is. But guys, we don't know this stuff. I wish I had paid more attention in biology. I really do. Because we're, you know, even when they say 100% occluded, we don't really know what that means. In fact, we're, especially John's excited, and he's jumping and cheering. He's like, yeah, it's this, I know what it is. And we're thinking it's going to be a stent, right? Or they'll put a little thing, and they'll patch up his artery or vein, and then it'll be super easy. So we have to wait a couple weeks for the vascular surgeon. And by the way, that was a total win. Usually you have to wait like 3 months for these guys. They're just so busy. And so we get the test. 2 weeks later, we can finally see the specialist. The specialist walks in, and John and I are excited. We're cheering. We're telling everyone, yeah, and the first thing out of the guy's mouth, he does one of these. He sits down, he takes off his glasses, and he says, well, this is complicated, but we're going to make all the decisions here as a team. And guys, those are not the first words you want to hear a surgeon says. Or you want to hear a surgeon say. So the more he talks, the more we start hearing these scary words, like the word bypass, the word ICU. And what happens, and it happened really fast, is that John, sitting down in the wheelchair, proceeds to go into this shock. And I can see him kind of, it was probably one of these out-of-body experiences. I mean, how would you feel if you find out you're gonna, from here to here, they're gonna cut open, and they're gonna move the bowels out of the way so they can do this, and they're gonna graft this. Guys, we were thinking this was a simple stent. And luckily for me, my trauma response is to overcompensate. I deal with my emotions later. Stuff it, and just overperform. So I was taking notes copiously. And I caught these scary words like bypass and ICU, but I didn't really register what it meant. I'm a slow processor. So the doctor did something even scarier. He said, come into my office and I'm going to show you the scans. And guys, we've been to a lot of doctors' offices, and I'm here to tell you that when they tell you they're going to show you the scans, that is bad news. In fact, I'm almost wishing that they had done that spinal surgery. That I'm wishing we were still looking at the spine. I'm wishing we were still looking at all these other specialists, because now that I know the answer, I don't like it. So we wheeled John into the office, into this doctor's office, and he's showing him the scan. And guys, the technology is absolutely incredible. They're like, okay, we did this view, and they're showing just the artery and everything. And what's happening with my husband is that he's got two opposite things happening at the same time. So his aorta is actually like he's got an aneurysm, and there's parts of it that are 3 centimeters. It's actually dilated, but then right in the iliac, it's 100% occluded. So you've got opposite things happening, and really close to one another. And so the doctor looked at him and just said, I'd like to perform, it's called an hold on guys, I gotta get the name of this, because aortal femoral bypass. I might be saying it wrong, but I'm still learning my biology here. So they're gonna connect from the aorta, they're gonna graft over the iliac on his right side, and they're going to give blood flow to the femoral arteries. And then the doctor said something else that was kind of scary. He said the left side, which has some occlusion but not 100%, that was a game day decision. And I don't like hearing, I thought game day decision was a good thing, but not when it comes to something like this. So the doctor said, we have to do a scan of your carotid and make sure that you can withstand the operation, and we're going to give you a stress test. And the other scary thing they did is they said, we're going to give you the carotid scan immediately. Guys, we've been waiting a couple weeks, even a month, for certain scans in this whole process. So for them to be scanning my husband 10-15 minutes later, it's like you're just in shock, and you don't even know you're in shock. So the doctor says, we're going to do that, then we're going to do the stress test. And then they say, and if you need anything, here's our cell phone number. You can call us, text us questions. And so that was another red flag, is the fact that we got a cell phone number. I got to tell you, we've met, I don't know, at least 20 different doctors, NPs, specialists, technicians. Well, actually way more than 20, but as far as the doctors and NPs, we've at least 20 of them, and not one of them has ever given us a cell phone. And then we went to Dr. Google, and we really started Googling this procedure. And I am hopeful. I really believe that this is going to, they said it could give you up to 20 more years of life, and good years. But there's also a lot of risks with this procedure. So right now, as for me personally, I am in a frantic planning mode, because I attack my problems with plans. And I've got a document labeled aortal femoral whatever bypass, and I'm adding more to this and doing as much research as I can. I'm researching what kinds of meals we can eat, because I love my husband, but I got to tell you, a lot of this is of his own doing. I mean, he works so hard, and he did when we first got to Thunder Canyon, he would just operate on coffee with boatloads and big tablespoonfuls of sugar, and then he wouldn't eat all day, and then when he'd eat at night, it would be Hostess donuts or Oreos. And I mean, it's a miracle the man doesn't have diabetes, and a blessing as well, because I mean, he's just, and then the not sleeping and the working 18-hour days. So we're in a weird place as far as there's a lot of reflection, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of planning, and there's so much up in the air. but one of the things that really moved me is this community and how it's really helped us. We got an offer from somebody that John's really close to that lives, gosh, I want to say at least 4 or 5 hours away. And they're like, you know, if you want, my wife and I would be happy to sit down with Mercedes while you're going through this procedure so she's not there alone. And we're having conversations about, you know, do we bring our 9-year-old daughter with us? And I think the answer is yes, but she's not going to see her dad in the ICU. I'm not going to let that happen, but I do want her to be able to say goodbye to him before they wheel him off to surgery. But, you know, just a lot of life planning kind of things. And learning to ask for help. And realizing too that in the however many years John and I have been together, I don't even know, I can't do math right now. What's, God, I want to say like 15 years? 16 years. I don't know. It's been a little while. And the time that we've been together, gosh, I wish I had brought Kleenex or something. Gosh, we wasted so much time. You know, I know we say it on the episodes, life is so short, life is too short, but, you know, just time wasted on dumb things that don't matter. And something like this makes you put every single thing in perspective. It really does. Boy, do I spend a lot of time on things that don't matter. But I am so grateful that I am not having to go through this alone. I feel like one of the luckiest people in the world, because through this channel and the people we met, and especially our long-termers here, the people that live here at Thunder Canyon just have my six. You know, I have like an army of, I don't know, it's just the dream team. Everyone just brings something new to the table, different to the table, and we're here when we need each other. We're here for one another. And I know I have help with the kiddo, and I have help with just a lot of things, and I'm really blessed. And you know, the recovery is going to be a lot. He can't even lift like a full gallon of milk. He's got to be really careful that he doesn't tear, because it's going to be like this long of a suture just right in from his stomach down to his hips, you know. So that's gonna be hard, and I'm just in a lot of prayer right now. I'm thankful to know what's going on. I'm thankful to have answers, and you know, they say God doesn't give you anything that you can't handle, and I'm gonna offer you the consideration that maybe God does give you a little bit more than what you can handle, because through Christ you can handle it. And that's what I'm holding on to right now. You know, 1 second, and then the other second I freak out, and then the other second I hold on again, and you know how it goes. But anyways, guys, I love you a lot. I guess the biggest thing I would ask is, you know, for prayers, and don't worry, we have somebody else sending the Bible bookmarkers. Actually, John's son Shane has taken that on, and he's another one that has really been a lifesaver, and I'm really grateful for him. So I've stopped sending the bookmarkers. He's now sending them, and he's doing a better job at it than I was too. He's a good kid. He's got all of that going on. So guys, I just want to thank you for being a part of this journey, and things are about to change a lot, and I pray that you guys are open-minded to going through this change, and I pray that we can turn this into something good. And you know, just life is too short, and we got to take better care of ourselves, and you know, focus on the things that matter. So guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next video, whenever that is.